Welcome back to another episode of Mikey Reyes, Real Kung Fu KC. Today we're going to go hang out with somebody who's a true elder of Chinese Kung Fu. So come on, guys, let's go. How you guys doing today? My guest today is amazing Sandy Weaver. She is a phenomenal high-level martial artist and a healer, and I'm blessed to have her with me today. What I've always been super impressed as I've gotten older with Sandy is her Bagua. Her Bagua is so elusive. If you've ever watched old Chinese Kung Fu movies with Pai Mei, where it's like you could almost get to Pai Mei and at the very last second, he's still elusive and gone. That's how Sandy is with her movement. You come at her with aggression, she somehow could feel it at the most seconds before it gets to her and move out of the way and put her hands right in a dangerous, awesome spot.
Our teacher in Bagua, Grace Wu from Wichita, I never really was totally into the martial arts until I experienced a female teacher. But having a female teacher and doing the Bagua, and she was just this gorgeous Chinese, long-limbed, beautiful, beautiful spirit, and she also did Northern Shaolin, which is hard, and long. And she did it majestically because she has these long limbs and can really, and Bagua is the same, And Bagua is probably closer to dance than any of the three martial arts, Shingyi Chwan or Tai Chi. It's much more circular form and it's not so straight line. You always are walking around a person. They're never behind you. They never get behind you because you can always get behind them.
You're always doing those spirals and
The
circles.
spirals. Soft beats hard, hard beats soft. It's always the interaction of the yin yang, but the internal arts teach you how to because you understand the energy flow inside your bodies, that you sense energy of the other person. If you're doing renduri or you're doing push hands, where you sense their energy first, and then the movement itself is there. If you can sense the energy, you can sense where to go. And it's very close. I mean, and when you're it's and it's not so much martial arts as it becomes uh, a sharing of energy.
Two dancing strings.
Exactly. Exactly. And it could be two deadly strings.
For sure.
I mean, yeah. So it's water and air, but it's water flowing around, circling, entwining, sinking.
You think you can show us some background? Hey guys, we're continuing on with our discussion about Bagua and martial arts. So the system that I studied, Tai Hoi or Tai Shu, depending on which dialect you use, it is a style that can at some point mimic all three traditional internal styles of Xingyi, Bagua, and Tai Chi. Although I do not know Xingyi, Bagua, I do study and teach Wu style Tai Chi, but I do not study the other two arts. Um, Sandy does Bagua and a little bit of Xingyi. We are going to just do maybe a little movement together so you kind of see how they interact. We're not going to go fast. We're going to go nice and slow. The line feeds the circle, and the circle feeds the line. Those are also yin and yang concepts of needing all different energies to consistently move together to make solid good motion. He's going to meow like in the Bruce Lee movie, and then we're going to go at it. I was laughing earlier, although some people might see Sandy and not think nothing much because she's an older woman. Let me tell you, this woman is extremely dangerous. And I was just laughing earlier because she took off her earrings and rings off her fingers. And I actually got a little scared. My heart palpitated a moment because she is pretty amazing. So we're just going to do just some simple motion and we'll just see how things go. So I'll just come at you with some very straight energy and we can go from there. Okay. So like if I'm moving towards Sandy, she cuts off to the side. Look, already taken my center. These are Bagua motions, like she's extending to probably
Yeah,
move.
and it could be Shingyi.
Again, as people are moving in, you can tell how she's immediately going for organs and striking into the liver. Yeah, there you go. She knows all those because she does health and a lot of acupuncture. She knows where certain meridians are that will activate and hurt the body more than potentially just normal strikes of consistent punching. I told you she's mean. So everything that I do, you notice that she's like feeding energy generally to the side. Oh, she wants me to hit her. No, she normally feeds energy off to the side, cutting my energy and then attacking my vitals. So if I just came in to grab,
Internal arts, what you're doing is you're usually avoiding the first punch or the first cut, and then trying to take their energy, use their energy, and project them away.
So you can see that in Bagua and Xingyi, how she's extending and moving her body. So give me just a Xingyi motion if I'm moving at you straight with the punch. Metal. Okay.
So metal is here.
Uh-huh. So she's deflecting my arm, moving it to her side, and then palming my face. It was metal, correct?
Okay, so with the right punch.
Okay.
Earth. So earth is across there.
Okay.
It would be here, here.
Okay.
So it's here, here. Metal is the element that encompasses the medicine, the lungs, and the large intestine.
And what are all the elements that are in Xingyi and Bagua?
Wood, fire, earth, metal, water.
Okay.
5 elements.
Okay. And so we've done.
So that's the creative cycle when you look at the function and how the function moves into the next 4
You know, just like you say, when one type of energy defeats another type.
So in Xingyi Quan, we do an element called Xingyi Quan, which is a 5-element form. So it shows it's a line form. Xingyi forms are mostly line forms.
Uh-huh.
The Bagua Zhang forms are mostly the
Circular form.
yes,
Yes.
like here. But Xingyi is straight line, and the 5-element form is showing the forms, showing all elements.
Mhm.
And also it can show the animals too. They're related.
I did a whole series of shorts on my YouTube channel about each animal with the elements that we learned in our animal walks, and it talks about how animals and elements are all intertwined.
Yeah.
So we've seen steel,
Metal,
water,
water.
and wood.
See, the water was the
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, you see it cutting, almost like a winding string.
So metal, water, wood is just straight punching.
Uh-huh.
You know, it's punching.
I heard a legend about one of the old masters that did Xingyi. They said that his teacher lived like 5 miles from where he lived, and they said that he would do all the way to his house, train with them for 4 to 6 hours, and then go back on the other side that he didn't do because he'd only do one side.
Right.
All us real comfortable people, we're not trained with the MMA fighters, so we're not,
We're-
you know.
We're
some-
trying to stay alive and long.
One of my students is a great MMA fighter, and I would never ever get in the ring with that my friend because he is a freaking monster. Even though he gives me a lot of credit, calls me his teacher. I love him, Anthony Sacopoulos, beautiful man. But he is a devastator in a ring. I say my odds with anybody on the street are open because we are not trying. We don't want to. We're not trying to start fights and hope people that are that good aren't out starting fights either.
Yeah, that's right.
But I believe anybody who trains true high level kung fu would be able to resolve any situation.
Well, and the correlation between the medicine we were talking before about 2 sides of the same coin. When you know, what the kung fu teaches you and what studying the medicine and philosophy teaches you is that you are learning ways and lifestyles and arts that help you ward off what we call an evil pathogen, whether it's a person or whether it's a bacteria or whether it's a virus.
Yeah.
So the medicine looks more at the external pathogens as causing disease. And, you know, in martial arts, you're trying to ward off physical attack.
Mhm.
So, you know, that's knowing the internal, and that's also sensing the energy of what's around you and being able to understand what's coming at you on the energetic level instead of just waiting until it becomes physical, and then it's really chronic and a problem.
And it's funny. I always say that when we go through life as a martial artist, when we talk about self-defense, most people only think about defending
The
themselves
attack,
physically, but
Can be
You-
spiritually too, can be
it could
energetically.
be financially.
It could be.
It could be
Yeah.
it could be
Yeah.
anything. That's
Yeah.
what I try to tell
Yeah.
people. When you
Yeah.
do good kung fu, you're supposed to learn
You're developing
become-
character, you're
Yep.
developing understanding, you're developing awareness.
And my friend Anthony also says this. He goes, every time we train, brother, we're supposed to have fun. If we're not having fun, then it ain't good. And that's the camaraderie, even though it is a art that is about me, the camaraderie of my community and my family and my friends is another part of what we're doing, because it is supposed to be about fun. It's supposed to be about incorporating every bit of our social life and internal life to become better. And everything that we're doing, we're supposed to do that. And I've really loved my life knowing you and Fred. And although we have not mentioned Fred as much, many blessings to him on his in his life and him passing. But he was a phenomenal teacher, and he was the one that befriended me and my brothers first when we were kids. We worked at all his malt shop. He used to come up there and train with us all the time.
We used to hang out in the parking lot at night when all the businesses were closing up and people would be walking home, and we'd be out there in the parking lot just doing push hands and talking about martial arts and showing each other forms. And we age into kind of a different space, more of a spiritual space, more of a understanding, wisdom, mentoring space. We don't have to prove anything with our physicality
A
anymore.
laser is just a beam of light.
Mhm.
It's just light, but it's so focused that it can cut through other objects. Well, as we get older, our will and our intent and our knowledge becomes that light,
Yeah.
So we're not having to be like, oh,
Yeah.
anymore.
Yeah.
People move. It's just like,
Yeah.
it's simple.
Yeah.
It's gentle.
Yeah.
It's nice. You become that beam of light. Okay, so we are staying over here by the law of the 5 elements, and Sandy is going to explain this to us.
So in Chinese medicine and 5-element theory, these are the representations. Each circle is representative of an element, and each element is related to a pairing of organ systems in the body. And the fire element, this element is the only one with 4 organs that are connected. So it goes wood, fire, earth, metal, water, back to wood. So the circle energy is what we call the creative cycle. This organ system creates this one, tonifies this one, creates this one, tonifies this one, and creates this one. So there's a positive energetic connection. And it's all based on Taoism. Taoism is the way of nature. It's the Tao, and the way of nature is connected to this 5-element system, because if you think about the elements and think about the seasonal changes and what happens with the interaction of the elements, wood creates fire. You need wood to have fire. Fire creates earth. So what happens when a fire happens is ash is left. So that's the earth. Earth creates metal, which are the metal deposits in the earth. The metal deposits come out of the earth. So, and then metal creates water. The minerals, through the minerals, the springs of the water comes out, right? So it's so metal, the minerals create the water, and then water creates wood. You have to have water plants, right? And then wood creates fire.
Yeah.
So that's the natural relationship in the 5-element. That's called the creative cycle. So in martial arts, for instance, in Xingyi Quan, we learn element forms. The destructive cycle or the controlling cycle is this dog. So how does that work? This is called the destructive cycle. Fire cuts metal, metal cuts wood, axis. Wood grows through the earth, a tree will break up earth. Earth dams water. Water puts out fire. There are movement forms in Shingee Chwan with each element. So fire would be here. So fire is here
Mhm.
or here. So the hollow organs have the energy to move stuff on.
Wow.
So they can push
So that's
and
why they're
move stuff.
gone.
That's why they're gone.
Okay.
And the yin organs are solid and they're more in the foundation of the function of the organ systems.
Okay.
So in Chinese medicine, the coordination of yin yang or the balance of yin yang is health,
Mhm.
right? So when the yin yang starts to separate, there's some imbalance, one is high, one is low, then there's disease. If it's a total separation of yin yang, it's death. So I think when you're working with martial arts, internal, external is obvious yin yang, and then everything else, everything can be looked at in terms of what is
Masculine, feminine.
expansive, contracted,
Yeah.
empty, full, hot, cold.
You can still smell it in here.
You can.
All folks, man.
Amazing. Just amazing.
Nobody says the style before the name.
Mm-hmm.
It's always the individual. It's the individual that brings out greatness.
Well, and any form that you study, if you teach it, then your student is going to look a little bit different than what you look like doing it.
Yeah.
Because you've got to embody the style.
I'm telling you, MMA really put a spin on the whole traditional style of martial arts, because everybody, it's combative. I'm like, dude, just because you're a great fighter doesn't mean you know anything more about life than another person. It does not make you greater than anybody else. And John Reeder, he gave belts, but I trained with him for 4 years and I only got to my second belt.
Yeah, exactly.
So
exactly.
It's not like it fucking meant much. You better fucking just keep training. And so I don't fight in the ring world where, I'm ready to go and all that shit, Yeah. So that's what our Kung Fu's about. Sandy, what styles of martial arts have you trained and how long have you been trained?
The first martial art that I studied was Okinawan karate. Studied that for about 4 years, and then got into studying Tai Chi Chuan with Henry Wu.
What style was it?
It was Yang style.
Yang style.
Mostly Yang style. And then studied with Grace Wu. We studied Bagua Zhang and Northern Shaolin Kung Fu.
I got to meet her a couple of times. She's
amazing. Yeah,
she was crazy, and her touch, and you knew she could knock the living crap out of you, but she touched you so gently,
very soft,
so gently,
And she was so tall and so long limbed, and her Northern Shaolin was just, long.
Yeah.
She has long limbs,
and
long
stances,
reach. It's a long
Yeah.
reach. And it was the first time I'd had a woman teacher in martial arts, and I think that was inspiring to me. I mean, I was inspired by seeing, Fred teach and seeing him do stuff in martial arts for sure. I mean, I grew up as a dancer, started when I was 5 years old, and I have a twin sister, and we danced all the way through college, and
still dancing today.
Still dancing today. Studied a lot, but we started out with a really strong base in ballet, which is very structured. It's very, it's a good base for moving into all sorts of different kinds of dance. And then I went to college and got a BFA in dance. And then I decided to bring the psychology that I studied in college with my dance and went into dance therapy. And that's a whole nother, it's an arts therapy that's not, you can't find much employment doing dance therapy. I knew that dance for me was, in some ways through my life, was a therapy. When I met Fred and started studying the Kung Fu and the karate, I realized that this is a whole system of movement that I had never seen before.
Yeah.
And I was attracted to it. The Chi Gong, which was a part of all the internal systems, is the kind of the medical part of the martial arts in terms of, systems of exercises that are good for specific organ systems and for specific things that you want to do for your health.
Yeah, I do the 8 pieces of brocade every
Yeah,
day.
exactly. So, I've been doing Qigong a long time, as long as I've been doing the internal arts, which was probably, let's see, we started doing Tai Chi in about 1982. So I've been doing martial arts since 1980. And what's the date today? 2024. So 44 years, maybe, martial arts.
Yeah.
And I do practice. I practice, this has to be modified with what's going on with your own physical body and your lifestyle and stuff. But, I have a daily practice that I'm pretty committed to. I've had to slow it down a little bit this summer because I'm trying to heal. I'm healing a medial meniscus tear.
And just so you know, that's called mental awareness. What we say is what we build. So potentially, instead of saying something else, she says, "I'm healing," because that still puts the energy forward to her body.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what I caught from that.
So I'm working out. I'm working and playing with different modalities to heal my knee, and it's improving. But I've had to modify my workout. And through your lifetime, there are different things that happen to you that you've got to change what you're doing and change the patterns up and realize there are other things that might be better for you to do at a certain time. You've got a story about your elbows. And Qigong could be the simplest of breathing exercises and very simple movement. But it's very powerful if you do it. And if you get really sick, that's an exercise that you can turn to and do, because it's not strenuous. It's soft. It's breathing. It's awareness.
You do it seated. You do it standing.
It's mind, understanding energy flow, and working with your mind to, focus on where the energy does flow and sending it back through, clearing the meridians. It's a lot. So it's really a strong part of the medicine. Chinese medicine. It's actually one of what we call 8 limbs to the medicine. Qigong is one of those limbs, or Chinese exercise.
Sure.
So that's and for me, that was from the martial arts, that was the most applicable thing that I could do to feel better.
I mean, of all of it, in my opinion, it is some of the most important things to do.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, it's one thing if you are training to be a fighter, you are training to go to war,
right?
Military,
right?
Then I get it.
The focus is a different focus, and the intent is different.
Yes, but when you are living every day to day,
it's
you're dealing with strain and stress, all the other normal problems here, and you have a little time. I mean, even just 5 minutes of Qigong a day will change people's lives. I totally believe that.
Yeah. And really, Chinese medicine and martial arts is a way of life. One of the things I was going to go back to that I think should be taught early to kids is, it's an old proverb, probably an old Chinese proverb that says, exercise in the morning, pick weeds in the afternoon, and meditate at night.
Yeah, now they would say exercise in the morning, smoke weed in the afternoon. Modern day kids these days,
right. Fred wanted a place where people actually wanted a cultural space where people wanted to come for healing and for training. And, most people hate going to a doctor, right? They don't like it. I mean, and we wanted to create a space where actually, if people, they were coming in for massage or acupuncture or classes or whatever, that they wanted to come. And it was an inviting space that would draw you in, and with all the art and the cultural aspect of what's represented and all the knowledge, the books and the knowledge of all the books. It's just like, so that's what we wanted to do.
This place is beautiful. I've been coming here forever. I train here. They've let me have seminars here. I still train here sometimes in the colder months when it's not conducive to be outside. It's beautiful. I'm very thankful to Sandy and Fred for, giving me attention as a youngster. They would call me young master. They're like, "Oh, there's Mikey. He's going to be a young master." And that encouragement always made it easy for me to continue training and doing better and never stopping. And obviously, I want to bring this knowledge to everybody out here in the world. And, I want you guys to continue on that energy, continue being good people. Remember, martial arts is really about being a better person. Yeah. It's not about being a better fighter. It's not better about anything other than working on yourself every single day. Any skill set that you got that you can start working on to make improvement in yourself, that is Kung Fu. That is having a good heart, leading from a good perspective and wanting to help people. That's good Kung Fu.
And you can start it at any age.
Yeah, definitely so. Never too old. And I love you all. Please share this with everybody you can. and you'll see us next week. Well, in a couple weeks. Much love. Out.